Hi, I'm Megan and welcome to my kitchen. In today's video, I'm going to share 4 easy but spooky Halloween food ideas with you. Now, these are a little more on the healthy-ish side. I'm not going to claim that they're healthy, but they're a little lighter than some of the treats we see during this time of year, but they are still so delicious and they're easy to put together. You don't have to be really creative or crafty to do these, so let's get into the video. First up, I'm making mini mummy pizzas. Now, a quick disclaimer, I cannot take credit for any of the ideas that I'm sharing with you today. I'm not that creative. I found all of these on Pinterest. I've also seen them on Instagram, YouTube. I will put some of the links down in my description box below where I found these ideas on Pinterest. So for these mini mummy pizzas, here's what I'm going to use today. I've got some English muffins, and these are just left over, and I'm also going to only make one because I'm making these for myself for lunch. You could use whole wheat English muffins. You could also do these with like mini bagels or bagel thins. I think those would be really good as well. So we've also got some pizza sauce. Use your favorite brand. You could also use some homemade. I'm using the Rouse. I happen to have this on hand. And then we're going to need some string cheese. If you don't have string cheese on hand, really any like white cheese, provolone, white American, you could just cut that into thin strips if you don't have the string cheese. And then we're going to use some sliced black olives for the eyes. I've got the oven preheating to 400 degrees. I'm going to spray my baking sheet with just a little cooking spray. You don't have to do that, but in case any of the cheese melted onto the pan, I just wanted to make it easier to clean up. So I'm going to take one of the English muffins, split it in half, add that to my pan, and then I'm going to add some pizza sauce. Add as much or as little as you would like. Now, this Rouse pizza sauce, I do have to say, this is my first time having it. It was good. Rouse can be a little on the pricey side, but if you're someone who is watching your sugar or carbs or added ingredients, this doesn't have any added sugar, no weird funky ingredients, so just kind of keep that in mind if you're wanting to try it. And it was, like I said, it was actually pretty good. So I'm going to take that string cheese and just peel off some of the, strings of the string cheese. And then you're just going to lay that across your pizza sauce to resemble like the shredded fabric on a mummy. So once we've done that, we're going to take our black olives, and I did leave space for their little eyes. I'm going to place those down for their eyes. You could also cut the black olives and make like teeth or a mouth if you'd like. And then this is also something that would be great to have your kiddos help. They can, make their mummies. We're going to pop this into the preheated oven, and you want to bake this for about 8 to 12 minutes or so, just until the cheese is melted. And this is what they look like when they came out of the oven. Are they not adorable? And they're simple, but they were pretty tasty. This would make a great lunch, dinner for Halloween, or a yummy little snack. Up next, we're going to make a spooky salad. So here are the ingredients that I'm going to use for this. First up, I'm using some provolone cheese. That's just the white cheese that I happen to have on hand. I'm going to add in some grape tomatoes. I've got a cucumber, some whole carrots, some sliced almonds, and lettuce. First up, I'm making some cheese ghosts. So I'm going to take a slice of that provolone cheese, and then y'all, like I said, I'm not super creative. I am not an artist by any means, but this was really easy to do. And you don't have to be an artist either. Your family will love it no matter what. All I'm going to do is just with a little paring knife, cut a little ghost shape out of the cheese, and then I took the edge of the knife and cut out some little eyes. And then on the first one, I just did the eyes. On the second little ghost, I did a little mouth. And a quick note here, I just did a salad for myself this day. I had the salad along with the mummy pizzas for lunch, but you could do a bigger salad for, a Halloween party, to take to a Halloween party, or for, a spooky themed dinner for your family. So those are what the ghosts look like. Now I'm going to move on and do some jack-o'-lantern cucumbers. So I took a cucumber and I just cut kind of a thicker piece. And once again, just using the tip of that paring knife, I'm just going to cut out a little jack-o'-lantern face. Now, once again, these do not have to be perfect, and of course, you are dealing with a paring knife and making little cuts here, so just be careful. Now, we're going to move on to the carrot pumpkins, and y'all, I'm not even going to lie, I was on the struggle bus with this one. I had never made these before, and I don't know what it was about it, but it was just not connecting with my brain. And I wanted to leave this in here to, just to show you all. Like I say, I'm not an expert. I just kind of do the best I can, and sometimes, sometimes we just struggle. So I did my best. They didn't really look too much like pumpkins. I mean, they kind of did, but they also kind of look like mushrooms. But that's all right. You got the point. They looked pumpkin enough. But yeah, I was like referring to pictures on my phone. I even watched a YouTube video on it. But anyway, so I got some of those done. I'm going to move on. I didn't do anything cute with the grape tomatoes. I mean, I guess you could, but I just wanted to slice them up to have like a pop of red in there. Now, to assemble the salad, like I said, again, I'm doing just one for me. You can do this in a really big salad bowl. I think that would be cute. So I'm just going to add in some lettuce. Use whatever lettuce you like. I'm just giving it a rough chop. I also think like purple cabbage sliced up would be, kind of spooky in this as well for that purple color. So I'm just adding everything. There's no rhyme or reason. You just want to arrange, all of your little ghosts and pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns on top. And then we're going to add in some of those sliced almonds. I apologize if you heard that. That was happy shaking. But the sliced almonds are little like fingernail looking shapes. So this is what the salad looked like. I would serve it just like this and let everyone add whatever salad dressing they like. Next up, we're going to do a caramel apple bar. And this is why I said these are healthy-ish ideas, because this part, it can be as healthy or not as you want it to be. So here's what I'm going to use to make these. You'll need some apples, of course. I'm using red apples. You could do a mixture of red and green apples. And if you're in a time crunch, or you're just needing something really easy, you can always use the already sliced apples from the grocery stores. Now, to keep the apples from browning, usually I do water with lemon juice, but I've heard that you can use Sprite. And so I wanted to give that a try. So I'm going to use that. But again, if you just want to use water and lemon juice, totally do that. Now, as far as the toppings, like I said, you can do healthy, more treat. You could do a combination of both. And these are just what I'm going to use, but use your imagination. I've got some mini chocolate chips, some peanuts, little M&M minis, some Reese's Pieces, some Halloween colored sprinkles, and then you could do some crushed up pretzels, chopped pecans, mini marshmallows. You could do little white chocolate bits, Heath bars crushed up. Again, use your imagination or whatever you and your family like, or dig through your pantry and, use whatever you've got on hand. Now, for the caramel dip, I'm using store-bought. You could, of course, make your own caramel dip, whatever you prefer. I'm going to start out by slicing up my apples. So I've washed them really, really well. I'm going to take this little apple core slicer gadget and use that, but I wanted them to be a little smaller than what this, cutter cut them into. So I just went through with a knife and sliced them up thinner. I'm going to add those to a bowl and then add some Sprite, push them down a little bit, and then I let them sit in that for about 15 minutes or so. After about 15 minutes, I'm going to remove the apples from the liquid and pat them dry really well. Now I'm going to get started on assembling all the dippers. I'm going to start out by chopping up some of the peanuts. I'm just using this little chopper here. You could chop them up with a knife. You could also put them in a Ziploc bag and just kind of, beat it with a rolling pin or something heavy. So I'm going to give those a rough chop and then place those into a little dish. Next, I'm going to take the M&M minis and just pour those into a little dish. I'm going to do the same thing with the sprinkles, the mini chocolate chips, and the Reese's Pieces. Now, I'm just doing this on a platter. I was just doing it for Gary and I for a movie night. But you could also set everything out and add a mason jar to a crock pot with a little bit of water and keep this on warm to keep the dips warm for your guests. You could also do mason jars with some chocolate chips and some white chocolate chips to do, just different chocolate coated apples if you'd like. I got these little apple sticks that I'm going to set out on the tray. I warmed up the caramel dip according to the package instructions, placed that into the ramekin, and then just arranged the apple slices around that. And here is what it looked like when it was done. And this purple platter, I just got this from the Dollar Tree a couple years ago. And these were yummy, so good. If you love caramel apples, of course, you'll love this. And Gary and I really enjoyed creating different combinations with the different little goodies that I had out. Last but not least, we're making Boo-nilla Milk. This was so easy to put together. I had everything on hand. I'm sure you do too, especially if you've got kiddos. So first up, we've got some milk. Use whatever kind you and your family prefer. We also need some sugar. Now, the recipe that I use also said that you could use honey or agave or a sugar substitute if you'd like, but it did say that sometimes the honey and agave don't, mix as well into the milk. We also are going to use some vanilla extract. Now, the recipe says to do this in a pitcher, but I did notice that the recipe is written really makes enough for about 2 servings. So if you are having a get-together, a party, family dinner, adjust accordingly. But how many ever servings you're making, of course, you want to have a container to mix it in that's big enough to accommodate that. So I'm adding in the milk. I'm going to add in the sugar, the vanilla extract, give that a really good mix, and then that's it. Now, as far as the milk goes, like I mentioned, use whatever you and your family prefer. If you have kiddos or family members who don't do cow's milk, you could totally make this with almond milk, oat milk, soy milk, whatever. So to do these little ghost glasses, I'm using these little clear cups. I just got these at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take a Sharpie and just make some ghost face on these. Again, this would be great, to get your kiddos involved and have them help you out. We're going to pour the milk into that, and that's it. These are ready to serve. Aren't these so cute? Now, this would be perfect to make ahead. I'm sure, the longer it sat, the flavors would probably come together more. I think you could also make these, like, if you want to use dyes. I know some people prefer not to use dyes, but you could do like green food coloring and do little Frankenstein faces. You could do orange food coloring and do jack-o'-lantern faces. I just think this is a cute idea, and it was pretty tasty. Now, I prefer mine to be just a tiny more on the sweeter side. I would add just maybe another teaspoon of sugar next time, but once you've got it put together, give it a taste and adjust it to your taste, and yeah, that's it. All right, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you got some ideas to try. If you did like it, hit the thumbs up button below and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.